Sarcopenia is the natural loss of muscle strength and many body functions like movement. Sarcopenia occurs as we age from sometime in the 40s or 50s onwards. The result is experiencing some sort of frailty, weakness, and not being agile as we used to. Some people say that deteriorating vision and loss of hair color is also part of the aging process. Probably, the bad part about sarcopenia is losing one's mobility, the inability to do what one wants, the inability to go where one wants to go, to lose our independence and being dependent on others. This dependence on others eventually takes the toll and results in being confined to bed, and needing help to get off, going to the toilet, bathing, grooming and having personal care. This is a thought that should send shivers up one's spine and should motivate and arouse one to do physical activity to stop some of the deterioration that comes with sarcopenia. Now with lack of mobility, we can see things going from bad to worse. Building muscle is part of the answer. How is this achieved? Some new research that has come out of late suggests increased physical activity. Doctors have always said that exercise is important to good health and is critical and is part and parcel of good living. Some people prefer to let nature take its course. This leads to inactivity and increases health problems. In other words, we have to be proactive and to make health our own responsibility. In fact, physical exercise is paramount to good health, and activity is taking the road to perdition. Can we really do this or not? The prevailing theory used to be that aging is part of nature and nothing can be done about it. If you're 40 plus, you're already experiencing some creeping muscle loss and it only gets worse as years go by. Is sarcopenia reversible? Experts say that it is, and that the best approach to restoring or maintaining muscle strength is exercise, primarily strength training. Sarcopenia helps those who lift weights and can actually create better strength and bone density. By lifting weights you can turn back the clock. You can combat the effect of aging to look and feel younger. If you are in your mid-40s, you may already feel like you have less energy and strength. Experts say that the loss begins to accelerate after age 75, when an elderly person who doesn't exercise loses 30% of muscle per decade. The good news, the experts say, that it is never too late to begin an exercise regimen. You can do it in your 70s and even in your 80s. That is an encouraging thought. Researchers have found astounding results when older folks take up physical exercise. On the bright side, all the negatives we talked about earlier are decreased and one becomes more independent. Isn't that a great plus? In the last 30 years or maybe even longer, exercise has become the new mantra. Yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates and other programs have taken new meaning. Gyms had become very prominent until the present virus situation put a stop to that. It is still possible to practice physical programs at home with or without equipment. There are tons of videos, for example on YouTube. We all have seen men and women with wonderful physiques, and we are talking of 70 and 80-year-olds, and they have done this with exercise and some other things like nutrition. Now, here is a dilemma for the medical community. If we have the answer to cure and prevent sarcopenia, why is it not halted? The same reason why diabetes isn't getting lowered, the same reason obesity increases, the same reason chronic diseases rise. People do not take time to implement the strategies needed, the discipline required to do what is good and not to do what is bad. There is reliance on doctors to solve the problems and not to take to health in their hands. Exercise is too painful and requires work and dedication. It is easy to let go. Technology has made our life easy. It is easier to drive than to walk. It is easier to buy package-ready-made food than to cook. It is easier to do many things that required work in the past. Now we are not talking about the developed world, this is happening in poor nations. Try this. Stand on any street corner and count how many fit people you see. No, see how many slim people you see. Check this alarming statistic. In the coming years, people will live longer. There will be more seniors than now, but how many seniors' lives will have quality given the current trends of health and illness? Given what we know of sarcopenia, it appears to be precursor to many illnesses. Don't we owe it to ourselves to take better care of ourselves and make a difference? Each one, whether they realize or not, needs to do that.